But then I go back to my seller and I was like, hey, look, man, I'll even give her the hot tub. She made 10 grand more. He's like, dude, you're just the best. Like, hey, what's up? I'm Tristen. I'm a wannabe internet guru for like realtors. I have a passion for helping realtors and then also like raising the bar for realtors because most of y'all suck. I wanted to make this video because I had two different experiences with clients this year where one is happening like as we speak and one happened back in July. And it's about going above and beyond for the clients and how it made me a little bit more money as well and how it could make you a little bit more money. But before we get into the video, I have this call every single Thursday from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's completely free and also broker agnostic. It doesn't matter like where you're at. Just join the call. All it's about is generating leads. My goal is to get you 3 listings in the first 90 days of joining that call. And it's like a cool little community where we celebrate each other's wins and help each other overcome different objections or obstacles that we've been hearing the previous week before. This link will send you like to a miniature questionnaire and I'll be able to call you and I'll send you the link directly. Anyways, let's get into the video. Earlier this July, one of the best stories ever, and I didn't realize how awesome of a story it would be until I'm sitting here right now and realize like, one, this is a great video to make, but then two, like how many listings it actually helped me get. So first thing, I go to the listing appointment. There's so many comps in the neighborhood, but there was a perfect comp for the house I was about to sell. It was just across the neighborhood and it sold for $382 like 2 weeks prior to the actual listing appointment. So every realtor would probably list it at like $375, $385, somewhere in that range, just because that's what the other one sold for, right? So I was like, nah, screw that. We're gonna list it for $400. Okay, so we had listed the house for $400,000, which helps because it gets us in that $350 to $400 and that $400 to $450 like price. But by the time the open house had rolled around, I had dropped it down to $399, like the Walmart pricing. We got nothing for like a week. And he was pretty adamant, like he wanted to sell the house pretty quick. So he came to me, he's like, let's go ahead and drop the price. We dropped it down to $395. Immediately after dropping it at $395, like immediately, we got an offer for $380. And I went to my seller and I said, hey, look, we have an offer for $380. I know it's not what you wanted, but what do you want? And he was like, look, dude, you get me $390, I'm a happy camper. We just close this thing up, we're, easy, it's done. And I was like, okay, perfect. So I called the buyer's agent and I said, hey, look, I know you want it for $380. We have so much interest, don't even worry about it. It's pretty much $395, which is full price at that time or no deal. This is a corner lot and it's 3-car garage. Otherwise, I know it's the same as that 382 house. You just let me know what you want to do because we have so many other people who are interested. So then the buyer's agent came back to me and said, deal, $395, like she'd just take it. So they're also motivated. I was like, perfect, sounds good. So I went to my seller and I said, look, man, I know you wanted $390, but I got you $395. He's like, dude, you're just the best. Like, oh my gosh, you're the man. Like, you're the dog. He loves it. Like, he loves it. The inspection rolled around. The inspection was like, okay, but it was not the worst inspection I've ever seen in my life. So after we got the inspection report, I said, hey, to the buyer's agent, what do you want? And she was like, don't repair anything, just give us $390. And I was like, cool, sounds good. I'll present that to my seller and see what he wants to do. Before I presented it to my seller, I called all my vendors for the HVAC, the roof, the attic, like all my people. And I said, hey, look, all this stuff showed up on my inspection report. This seems like a load of BS to me. Is it to you? And they're like, oh yeah, this is ridiculous. Like $5 grand for this stuff is insane. Like this is maybe $100 total. And it was like super simple stuff. Like I don't even remember what it was. It doesn't really matter. And so I went to my seller and I said, hey, look, I talked to my vendors. The inspection came back. The stuff is really not that important, but they're asking for $5 grand. What do you want? He's like, honestly, if you just give me $392, I'm a happy guy because I didn't even think we were gonna get $390. So I don't care, let's just close this thing up. Just don't lose the deal, please. I went to the buyer's agent and I was like, hey, look, we're not doing any of that. It's pretty much $395 or no deal. Let me know as soon as possible because we need to get back on the market for the other buyers. We have so many people who are gonna be interested. She calls me back like 5-10 minutes later. She talks to her buyers because she thinks we're in a rush to get back on the market. She's like, deal, $395, just go ahead and take it. But then I go back to my seller and I was like, hey, look, man, I know you wanted $392, but I got you $395. He's like, dude, you're just the best. Like, oh my gosh, he's like over the freaking moon. He loves it. That's like the story. Like that, I live on that story now, and I tell that story to every new prospecting client because I want to make my guy the most amount of money. And here's like my evil scheme with that is, if I make him so much money and he's so happy, he's gonna feel guilty if he doesn't refer me to every person he knows. So that's my evil scheme. It's like, can I serve him so well and make him so much money that he has to refer me? Like he just like, dude, you've got to use Tristen. That's like my badge of honor whenever I go to a listing presentation and then they start to ask like, hey, he said he would do it for 1%. He said he'd do it for 2%. I tell them that story because I didn't have to make him an extra $8,000. Like he was willing to take $390 and then he was willing to take $392 and I got him $395 both times. That's an extra 8 grand, which in that case is 2% of the total deal. So I say all that to say, I served that client so well and so out of my client's best interest that now I use it on every single listing appointment, and it's helped me win 2 or 3 listings since, just because I had that compelling story to tell. And then it led me to this client testimonial that I'm at right now, and it gets even better, so just wait. So we have the house listed for $350. We host an open house, and at the open house, a buyer walks in, no kidding, for like 2 minutes, like not even 2 minutes. She just kind of like looks at the house and she's like, I want it. Unrepresented, she said she doesn't have an agent. And so I was like, okay, contact me after the open house and we can write up the offer. So before I went to the actual in-person meeting, I called my seller and I said, hey, look, she wants to submit an offer. What's the lowest you'll take? Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna get you the lowest, but I just need to know like what I can do to negotiate on your behalf because you're not gonna be there. She said, look, if she'll do 340, I'll even give her the hot tub. And I was like, perfect. All right. So we met in person, I sat down and I was like, all right, so what do you want to offer? And then she said 340. And I was like, holy crap, we're good. Also, keep in mind, when my seller says 340 and give her the hot tub, she's saying 340, she's paying my commission and she's also paying the buyer's agent commission, right? So she was willing to pay 340 minus way more percentage. So when we sit down in person to the buyer who's unrepresented, I say, how much do you want to offer? She said 340. Dude, like I was like, whew, okay, like we're chilling because her worst offer is also my seller's worst offer. We have a deal. Now, how much money can I get my seller? And that's all I cared about. So first off, I can go ahead and take off all the buyer's agent commission and just give it back to my seller. And then also, what can I do to make her pay for my commission? And all that's going through my head from that whole sit down experience is what happened back in July with that 390 and 395 that I just told you about. So I was like, hey, look, you know what? I appreciate the offer at 340, but we have so much interest on the house. Like the house is gonna sell. It may even sell over listing price, but I'll do you a favor. If you'll do 350, we'll throw in the hot tub and then I'll cancel all the showings for the weekend and it can just be yours. And she was like, done. She didn't even like bat an eye. She was like, yeah, I'll just take it. And I was like, well, I probably could have got more out of her. Maybe I didn't even have to give her the hot tub. I kind of felt bad because like, probably could have just given the hot tub to my seller, even though I knew they were gonna be over the moon, but like, maybe let that be a lesson in itself. I could have just said, hey, look, the best we can do is 350. And then if she like balked, I could be like, oh, then take the hot tub. Because then I could have known for sure I got the most, right? For my seller. Because I don't really care, but like I want the most for my seller. And keep in mind, that's now 350 just minus my commission. So like she made 10 grand more, but then also more because like she's unrepresented. Because I could have just taken 340, but instead I asked for 350 for my client. And so you'll always be able to speak with conviction about you acting in your client's best interest. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Maybe I rambled too much, maybe I didn't. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you hated it, please leave a dislike and comment down below why. And please subscribe, it actually really does help. And I wanna help you grow your business. So like come to that sales dog call from 10:30 to 11:30. Just fill out that like stupid little questionnaire that I sent you. And anyways, my name is Tristan, I'm out.